standing here with Minister Wykeham McNeill of the great Jamaica. He is the Minister of Tourism. And listen, what a fabulous country you have.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, we think we're very special. Jamaica as a country, it's got wonderful rivers, waterfalls, the infrastructure is unique, or beaches, but I think above all, the people and the culture of Jamaica. People are just warm and have a culture of tourism. They understand and they're very giving. And on the other side of it, our culture, whether it is our music and our food, and so it really has worked so well for us.
Yeah, it's a rich, vibrant, passionate culture, and we really appreciate having it in the Caribbean region. Now, you're one of the leading in the Caribbean, certainly the leading English-speaking Caribbean country as far as numbers. So one would say, why does Jamaica even need to sell itself any further? What do you say to people? You're still trying to convince them to come to Jamaica?
Well, one of the reasons why we're the leading is because we sell ourselves and do it so well. But like Caribbean Marketplace, where we come here and meet with all of our partners in the industry, it's a time not just for selling Jamaica, but to sort of take account to see how business is going.
Yeah.
All our partners coming, the tour operators, travel agents, the media, and so we get the feedback. So we've been getting the feedback on Jamaica. It's really quite good. Everybody, I think Jamaica is hot. We're feeling a similar vibe coming from World Travel Market in London last year, and so we're feeling very good about it. We're cautiously optimistic. The world is facing challenges. There's no doubt about it. Right now, if you look at the UK and Europe market, they're suffering from a fairly severe economic problems. I'd say the only country that is showing some good growth is Germany, which has a little strength behind it, and certainly the APD, the passenger duty in the UK is having an impact on us. So there are those challenges, and in the US and Canada, it's not been as cold as we would like it, but it is getting there. But they also have certainly the Northeast market, which was recently affected by Sandy. So we're cautiously optimistic because we're getting the feedback from our partners that Jamaica as a destination is in demand, but at the same time we do realize there are challenges. So we're out there, we're selling. Here we have noticed, just looking around, there's a lot of activity.
And a lot of competition.
A lot of competition, no, absolutely, and that's the other side of it. In what is not as fast a growing market as we would have wanted worldwide for tourism, everybody has to be aiming to get a little more market share. And so that's the other side of it. So there's a lot of activity, certainly in Jamaica, and just looking at our section, we've had some really good activity. And speaking to our partners here, they're very confident, they feel very good, and already they're saying that it has been a very successful marketplace.
Well, what we're seeing, a lot of the counterparts are moving into new markets, new territory. We're not so much hooked on that North American drug, I call it, in that we have so many of our guests, and we appreciate that, of course, coming in from North America. We're going now into the East. We're going into deeper parts of Europe. What has Jamaica been doing in that effort?
Oh, we have been really successful about it. In terms of the Eastern European market, just on the 1st of January, we welcomed the first non-stop flight from Moscow, Montego Bay, the first non-stop flight from Russia. And absolutely, and it was really a 3-month rotation. We're in discussions about extending it. It's going real well, and the impact on the Jamaican market, there's a real excitement about it, and we feel very good about it. So we're actually bringing down some more tour operators and having discussions because we think there's even more potential there. On the 20th of last month, we had the first flight from the Czech Republic.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and next year we have flights coming in from Stockholm. I mean, we're opening up, and so the Eastern European, we're feeling, and Northern, we're feeling very confident about it. We're going in, we're looking at all the things that facilitate travel. We're looking at the efficiencies of our airports. We're looking at the visa regimes, anything that can speed up and make travel easier, we're looking at it to really develop those markets. And we're also looking at the Latin American market.
Absolutely.
And we had taken a decision some time ago to go with Copa as our hub in Panama City. It has worked out well. Last year we intensified it, and in December they doubled the flights to Jamaica from 4 to 8. So that's a real positive. Now the base is still relatively small, but it opens up entire Latin America. We now are going behind that with our representatives at the tourist board and the partners. We're going in there because we want to see how we can also go into some of the markets directly. We think Brazil offers tremendous potential.
Tremendous. We cannot ignore Brazil.
You cannot ignore Brazil. But of course, you have Colombia, Chile, Ecuador,
And you know what?
et cetera, et
We
cetera.
find that they travel a lot between each other. And
Yeah.
certainly, when we went and we covered an event in Latin America, which was actually Cartagena, at the Summit of the Americas, they are so interested in Caribbean. The minute they heard our accent, the minute they
Absolutely.
saw, some of the darker skinned Colombians, they were like, "You're brown like me. We're chocolate together. We're chocolate together." So they really want to have that interaction. They want to come. They've heard of us, and certainly a guy like Usain Bolt helps you out, right?
Oh, let me tell you something. We were looking at Brazil, and so in the discussions we have said, okay, we're going to go and have some discussions with Brazil. There are a number of avenues that we're taking, but in the discussions with some partners there, they made the point to us. They said, Usain Bolt, his whole stature and how he's regarded. I mean, he's a hero down there. But not only that, but our music.
Yes.
Jamaica has that advantage. I mean, they were saying that just recently Damian Marley had sold out concerts over Brazil, and that it's really hot. And that, so in going into the markets, we have some brand recognition, and we have the opportunity to deepen that brand recognition. So it's not just straight advertising and getting the airlift, but it is sort of getting that awareness of Jamaica and putting it forward, probably getting some of our food down there and work on it, and we're feeling very positive about it. So we think that, as you said at the start, diversifying the market is so important. And Latin America, Eastern Europe, and certainly moving down the line, looking long term, places like China, possibilities that we have to look at. And I think that in Jamaica, as with the rest of the world, these are some of the things that we have to deal with.
Well, listen, this has been a terrific conversation. And what I like most about this conversation is that the minister is not in the spa, Jamaica. He is working the floor. That's real cool, Minister.
Absolutely.
Glad to see you.
Although this spa Jamaica sounds very good now that you mention it. but nonetheless, but as I said, good function that we're having here.
Yeah.
Very useful. And I think the interesting thing about it is that next year we'll be hosting it in Jamaica.
Oh, I'm going to be there.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely gonna be there.
There you go. So look forward to it. Some jerk chicken and some ackee and saltfish, and bring your party shoes.
Oh, yes. Caribbean Marketplace opened with a bang, a lot of Bahamian culture, but a very poignant message coming from the nation's Prime Minister, the Honorable Perry Christie. He talked about a synergy that has to come for the Caribbean region. He talked about tapping into U.S. resources, for example, to help with really bringing down crime rates, which have plagued many of our Caribbean countries. But he also talked about building and in moderation so that we have that balance between our ecology as well as the opportunity for development. What did you think of his speech? I thought it was quite compelling, and it put a good, strong challenge out to Caribbean leaders.
Yes, and two issues that are very important to us. Let me start with the latter first. I think it's in the benefit of everyone in the industry to protect the ecology and the environment, because the fact of the matter is that's what you depend on. It's the beaches, it's the beauty, it's the fauna and the flora that you're really selling along with your culture and your people. So it is very important that these things are protected. And in so much as you're doing the work, building hotels, building attractions, doing different things, you have to look at doing them in a way that you have a long-term sustainable plan in mind. So I think that that side of the message is not one that's new, but I think it's important that it is brought to the forefront on an occasion like this, in which Caribbean tourism is represented in its whole, as well as all the partners. So I thought that was an important part of it. In terms of the issue of crime, again, crime and tourism don't mix. And while we speak about crime and what we have to do about it for tourism, I think quite importantly, it's more about what we have to do about crime for ourselves. I think that as a people, and certainly Jamaica, as a government, we have to, we can't tolerate it, and we have to really put the energies and the mindset in place to deal with all the issues that we have to get crime down. It's intolerable. It has affected not just tourism, it affects all the economies, it affects all the industries, and it just affects your way of life. So it is something that was, again, very timely in its announcement, but something which I think that many countries are looking to address, and certainly in the case of Jamaica, something that we are taking seriously, and that the government, of which I'm a part, has placed as one of our priorities.
Caribbean as a whole being marketed. Can we do that? Can we market us as one and still keep our uniquenesses?
No, absolutely. I just start with the point that a lot of times you will go to somebody in Europe and the US or Canada, and they say, well, where do they want to go for a vacation? And they say, oh, I want to go to Disney, Alaska, or the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And there is the point that a lot of people say, well, I'd really like to go to the Caribbean, and they'll type in Caribbean. So if you are marketing, it is in the best interest of all those countries that form part of the Caribbean that they integrate themselves into that block. Because when somebody goes to Caribbean, you want also your market share of Caribbean. So there's that element of it. And I think that we have to be realistic about what each nation can put into these common funds, given the demands that we have at a national level. However, I think it's an important part and something which has started, and I think it's on the right track, and I'm very pleased now with the direction that we're going with the partnership moving forward.